Barak Shalom. This is Nabi Ahaya Eloah Elohim Malek Boaz Ban Yochanan Ben Dawid of Yehuda. And this is the third video for Scriptures Not Taught in Church series, Deuteronomy 28. Okay, so in the past two videos, in the first video, we had a short recap of what the chapter of the book was going to be about. In the very last video, we began to read the book of Deuteronomy, and we read the first 14 verses. And within the first 14 verses, we found out that there was a litany of blessings that Yahuwah had set aside and stored up for the original Hebrew Israelite Jews. And then we also found out that there was a birthright that was within those promises and those rewards to be given to the Hebrew Israelite Jew that was stolen by the New Age. That was stolen by the New Age fake false Jew, the Khazarian, Sephardic, or Ashkenazi. And what that birthright is to be the lender of nations and never the borrower. And that's exactly what these fake Jews are today. They are the World Bank. They are the lenders to the world's governments. They are the providers of provisions and financial means to those who are in need of financial stability and upbringing. When America had its bailout situation with the housing bubble and the automotive bubble, it was the Jews who bought them out. It was those fake, white, false, Ashkenazi, Khazarian, Sephardic Jews who are the world bankers, who are the world lenders, who lended the money to America and the American corporations to bail them out. This is a birthright that is stolen from us. And the only reason and way they were able to steal this birthright from us is because when they kidnapped us, they washed our minds. Most black people have no idea or recollection of what their true natural heritage is. And they've allowed all these white people to tell us that our heritage is from Africa and that we need to celebrate Kwanzaa and stupid stuff like that. When the truth of the matter is that 98% of the blacks here come from here. And then the other 2% of those blacks were actual Judean, Judean Hebrews that were shipped from the west coast of Africa in the Gold Coast, or which is also known as Negro land. If you look up ancient slave maps, you can look up Negro land right around the Gold Coast or the Ivory Coast, and you will see a small section near like Ghana that will say Kingdom of Yuda or Wiuda, Wiudah. Okay, you can look this up, people. I'm giving you the specific information so that way you don't have to take my word for it. You don't have to say, oh, this guy think he knows things. No, I'm giving you this specific information so you can go look it up yourself. Okay, it's in the it's in the old slave maps, Negro land, west part of Africa. Okay, right around the hump of the west part of Africa, right around where Ghana is, right around like the armpit area, and you'll see it'll say Kingdom of Judah or Wiudah, Kingdom of Judah or Wiudah. All right. So they knew exactly who they were picking up to bring into slavery. They knew exactly who they were snatching up to turn into lower than common folk. They knew specifically that they went to go get the royal faction of the original Hebrew Israelite Jews to now make them slaves in the new world. And we will get into that later on, because there is a prophecy that is very specifically mentioning this in this very chapter of this very book that we are reading and we're studying at this very moment. Okay. Now, I want to tell you, the next thing that comes up are curses. Okay. So let's go ahead and read what the curses are that the Hebrews were going to have to accept and deal with if they chose to turn their back on Yahuwah. Okay. And it says, but if you refuse to listen to Yahuwah your Elohim and do not obey all the commands and decrees I am giving you today, all of these curses will come and overwhelm you. Your towns and your fields will be cursed. Your fruit baskets and breadboards will be cursed. Your children and your crops will be cursed. Your offspring of your herds and your flocks will be cursed. Wherever you go and whatever you do, you will be cursed. Yahuwah himself. Listen, okay? And this is for all you people that don't really have a complete understanding of the position that Yahuwah plays, okay? Not all punishment or not all things that we see as evil being done comes from the one person that we see as evil incarnate, okay? Some things come by way of Yahuwah purposefully and specifically for the purpose of punishment, okay? And so Yahuwah says, Yahuwah himself will send on you curses, confusion, and frustration in everything you do, until at last you are completely destroyed for doing evil and for abandoning me. That's what he says. He says when you don't follow his statutes, laws, and commandments, you're abandoning him. You're not truly showing your love for him, because this is the way that he wants you to show his love for him. As I mentioned in the very first video, everybody has a stipulation of love. Nobody's just going to allow somebody to love them the way that they just choose to love them. No, everybody wants to be loved in a very specific manner. And when you get with somebody, you usually tell them, well, this, I've always had this as an idea for my relationship. I've always had this as an idea for my ideal partner. Well, this is how I want to be treated or looked at or revered in my relationship. Everybody has these standards. So it's not outlandish to think God even has these standards. And why should not God have standards? Why? Just because he's holy and he's perfect and he's all of everything, that he shouldn't have standards, that he should just accept whatever? I mean, come on. We're humans. We are made of dirt and dust, and we don't just accept whatever. So how can we expect God to do that? Let's be honest, folks. So Yahuwah says, Yahuwah will afflict you with diseases until none of you are left in the land you are about to enter and occupy. Yahuwah will strike you with wasting diseases, fever and inflammation, with scorching heat and drought, and with blight and mildew. These disasters will pursue you until you die. The sky above you will be unyielding as bronze, and the earth beneath as hard as iron. Yahuwah will change the rain that falls on your head into powder, and dust will pour down from the sky until you are destroyed. That's a sandstorm. Okay, because we're talking about that area of the world, right? So he's telling them, like, you know what? Instead of giving you a thunderstorm, I'm going to give you a sandstorm, because that's what you deserve. Because this is what you're showing me out of the kind of love that you're showing me. So the kind of love that you show it is directly connected to the kind of reward or repercussion that you get. And I believe this right here clearly defines that. All right. He says that he will change the rain that falls on your land into powder and dust that will pour down from the sky. He says instead, since you don't want to love me the way I'm asking you to love me, and you don't want to follow my law, statutes, and commandments, well, instead of giving you what you need, which is rain, I'm going to give you what I want to give you, which is a whole bunch of sand, dust, dirt, because that's what you are to me. You're nothing but dust and dirt. And I'm trying to elevate you. I'm trying to make you better than that. I'm trying to show you that you are better than that, at least to me already in my heart. But if you don't want to acknowledge that, then I'm going to show you exactly what you're made of. And I can show you also that what you are made of can destroy you as well. We're on 25 now. So it says, Yahuwah will cause you to be defeated by all your enemies. You will attack your enemies in one direction, but you will scatter from them in 7. You will be an object of horror to all the kingdoms of the earth. Your carcasses will be food for the scavenging birds and wild animals, and no one will be there to chase them away. Now let me ask you something, black people. Are you not already the object of horror and comedic relief to all the kingdoms of the earth? Don't your corpses happen to just lay out in the street for hours sometimes after they maliciously kill us? Black people, can you not see that this chapter right here is talking about you? And I haven't even went through half of the chapter yet. And there should be already things that are jumping out at you in between this video and the last one that I did that clearly says, oh my gosh, we really were the Jews. Let me finish. Yahuwah will afflict you with the boils of Egypt, and with tumors, scurvy, and the itch, from which you cannot be cured. Yahuwah will strike you with madness, blindness, and panic. Blindness and panic. You will grope around in the broad daylight like a blind person groping in darkness, but you will not find your way. You will be oppressed and robbed continually, and no one will come to save you. Oh my gosh. I'm going to end this video right here. Black people, did you just hear that? Did you hear that last line? You will be oppressed and robbed continually, and no one will come to save you. I'll catch you on the next video. Barak and Shalom.